What's up everybody, another beautiful day in the Dragon House, and today we'll be taking a look at Dawn of the Infinite Galakrond'sfall, which is part 1 of 2 from this mega dungeon that you'll be able to do as M+ in Season 3. Now I'll be going over notable trash, interrupts, and boss mechanics. Let me know what y'all think of these dungeon guides in the comments. So starting off with notable trash before the first boss, we have the Infinite Chrono Weavers. Interrupt their Chrono Melt cast. Deals damage and reduces your haste and movement speed by 50%, so it's a DPS loss. Use disruptive effects like knockback, etc. to stop the Infinite Time Slicer's channel, Tempo Slice, and make sure to dodge Time Rip from the Epoch Rippers. For the first boss you have Chronicar. Players marked by Sandstomp needs to drop their pool as far out as possible near the end of the room. Overlap your circles if possible to gain more space. When boss reaches 100 energy it casts Eon Shatter. Players targeted by this gets a big old circle around him and needs to move far away from the rest of the group and wait for it to turn into a swirl, then move out. When the swirl explodes it will fire out projectiles and spawn a puddle of residue that you need to soak before it explodes, and this will happen a total of 2 times per Eon Shatter. Healers and tanks, be wary of its Tank Buster, Chrono Share. Deals a ton of damage and puts a huge healing absorb on the tank, so make sure they're topped before. Notable trash before manifested timeways. Healers, you want to keep an extra eye on Coalesce Time. Their Chrono Burst targets players and needs to be dispelled. If this circle hits any of the mobs that are frozen in time, they'll go active, so avoid that unless you want more trash. Make sure to interrupt their Infinite Bolt Volley, or your group will go boom. And tanks, watch out for Temporal Fusion's Triple Strike. Tons of bursty arcane damage. You want to interrupt the Coalesce Moment's Infinite Bolt, and healers, make sure to dispel Taint, Ed Sands, the Time Stream Leeches. If their Enervate cast goes off, you can dispel it, but it does damage within 8 yards of the mob, so make sure to move out. The Time Stream Anomaly, their Bloom, it needs to be dispelled as fast as possible, or it will start spreading to everyone, and make sure to dodge their frontal as well. So for the manifested Timeways Bows, the encounter area is split up into 4 pizza slices, half with accelerating time and the other with decaying time, and this rotates around. So the accelerating zone deals damage to you every second, but it increases your movement speed by 30%. And Decaying Zone deals damage every 3 seconds and reduces damage taken by 20%, but no movement speed increase. So throughout the fight, boss will fire out projectiles all around her. These will move very slow within the Decaying Zone and very fast through the accelerating zone, and they hurt a ton if you get hit. Move counterclockwise around the boss and you'll be able to run ahead of them as you move through the fast zones, making it incredibly easy. Players targeted by Chrono Faded needs to be dispelled inside the accelerated zone, so group will only take 1 tick. If you do it in the slow one, they take multiple, and you want to avoid dispelling 2 at the same time, but you always want to dispel them in the fast zone. Now tanks, make sure to always be in melee range or boss will make group go boom boom. So notable trash before Blight of Galakrond. The Infinite Infiltrators avoid their on-ground effect Timeless Curse, and party will get nuked by Infinite Fury, so pop defensives and healers, flex some skills. The Blight Chunk, when they die they will buff nearby Risen creatures with 50% melee damage increase. The Risen Dragons has a Necrotic Outburst aura which takes very high damage on everyone every 2 seconds, so avoid pulling multiple of these. They also spew Blight on the ground. Blight bad. So for the Blight of Galakrond, in phase 1 avoid the swirls and puddles on the ground. When a player gets corrosion, they need to transfer it to the tank by running into them. Tank then needs to get hit by the Blight Reclamation, which is a frontal to clear it, or they will get Corrupted Mind when it expires, and the boss casts this frontal at 0 energy. Now any player can clear it by standing in the frontal, but tanks are usually a lot safer. At 80% phase 2 starts, same as phase 1, but you will now get Necrotic Winds, which pushes out from the boss, pushes players back and deals ticking damage on the party. Healers beware. Don't get hit by the tornadoes and keep dealing with corrosive in the same way. And then phase 3 starts at 50%, and in this phase you face Loskeleth and Dazak. They share damage taken, so any damage you deal to one of them, the other one takes as well. So tanks, try to keep him stacked as often as possible. You want to watch out for Loskeleth Blight Breath, and you need to nuke down players that get targeted by by Necrofrost to break him out. They can't move for a while and they take a ton of damage. You still need to deal with corrosive and clear it in frontals, however boss will cast this a lot less in phase 3, so you may need to bounce this back and forth between a few players before leaving it on the tank. Notable trash before Iridikron. The Iridikron's creation Stonebolt slaps pretty hard, so make sure to interrupt it. For Iridikron itself, healers need to make sure Chromie survives. Just heal. Players targeted by Extinction Blast needs to be inside Chromie's timeline bubble. This will cause her to go exhausted and take a metric ton more damage, so healers beware. When Iridikron casts Stone Kraka, Barrage tank soaks the small soak and everyone else stacks up and soaks the big one. Use defensives if possible. Now following Barrage you get 50% haste for 25 seconds. Now boss will channel Earth Surge. You need to break its shield to stop the channel. During this make sure to dodge the earth spikes. You can move over the puddles that spawn to dodge new incoming spikes wave. They don't hurt that much. Now when Iridikron casts Pulverizing, it does a frontal as well as a 20-yard AoE around it. During this, players will get a circle around them and after a few seconds they deal damage within that circle and 2 adds will spawn. So move away from boss as a group and loosely spread so adds spawn close to each other. Make sure they're interrupted and tank, make sure to pick them up. Healers get so salty when they get aggro. Ooh, I died. When boss reaches 100 energy, it starts casting Cataclysmic Obliteration, dealing ticking damage to everyone in the party, and if it goes off, everyone dies. And dealing damage to the boss lowers its energy, and at 0%, it fails. Survive this and you're done. Make sure to use defensives and healing cooldowns for this and the elusive healing pot. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Galakrond'sfall on Mythic. Hope it helps, and if you have any questions at all, hit me up in the comments, on stream, or become a patron or Twitch sub and get access to the Stankie Discord where you can get help with anything PvE related, like dungeons, raiding, you name it, enhancement. Don't forget the usual stuff if you want to help out. Like, comment, subscribe, and slap that notification bell. I'm releasing a lot of guides for 10.2, so thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.